Esalen Live. Welcome to Esalen Live, where we chat with change agents and swim deep waters in an ongoing exploration of human potential. I'm your host, Christine Chen. You know, when we're trying to take care of ourselves and our loved ones, generally it's not one thing that works. Sometimes it's a blend of modalities. Today on Esalen Live, we explore the cross section of the 5 elements in yoga and Chinese medicine with Jiling Lin, a licensed acupuncturist and yoga teacher with an upcoming workshop at Esalen. Let's say hello, everyone, to Jiling Lin. Hello, Lin.
Hi.
Hi, Jiling. So great to be with you today. Thanks so much. And everyone, when you have a question for her, just put it in the chat. And then if you can let us know where you're joining from, maybe what element speaks to you, as we're talking about the 5 elements in yoga and Chinese medicine today with Jiling. Jiling, can you explain, first of all, how yoga and Chinese medicine intersect with these elements?
Yeah, so in India and in China, ancient sages practiced mindfulness awareness in nature. So these yoga and Chinese medicine practices, rather East Asian medicine, including Japan, Korea, and other East Asian countries, these practices are rooted in nature, integrating our body, spirit, and mind. And these practices and perspectives, the art and science of both yoga or Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, are also holotropic in that the world is reflected within our bodies, and our bodies and relationship within our bodies and our perspectives informs how we see and experience the world around us as well.
Mm. And then what do these two practices together offer us at this time? Because this is obviously an unprecedented time. Self-care is in the spotlight more than ever before, if not straight up health. How can we see these things through the lens of today? Because they've been around forever.
Yeah, through aligning our breath, movement, food, and other lifestyle choices and habits and practices with the seasonal rhythms, we bring together our breath and our body and our world, cultivating a sense of place and coming home to our bodies, cultivating present moment awareness in simple and accessible ways that have profound depth within their simplicity, reconnecting our personal cycles with universal cycles and rhythms. So, for example, right now within the cycles of nature, we're entering the autumn season, which correlates with the metal element of Chinese medicine. So, a
Ah,
simple practice can be just taking a deep breath in and letting it out with a sigh, connecting
oh,
with our breath. Yeah.
let's do that with everybody. If you're watching us on Esalen Live, we're with Jiling, and she is an expert in Chinese medicine as it intersects with the yoga practice, applying it to our current season, our current situation. Send her a little love if this is helpful for you and any questions you might have. Why don't you lead this in this moment right now as a practice where we can all arrive at this moment in time and in this season, Jiling?
Yeah, wonderful. So go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable seated position. If you're sitting in a chair, settle yourself so that your feet are flat on the ground and you feel your tailbone, the parts of your booty that are connecting with your seat. And if you're sitting on the ground or anywhere else, just equalize both sides of your body. Allow your eyes to gently close and welcome yourself here. Noticing the places where your body is in connection with the earth and welcoming this earth energy, grounding yourself here. And now, as you take a deep breath in through your nose, welcoming in this fresh air, noticing besides the air what else you are welcoming in this moment. And as you exhale, let it out completely with a sigh. Noticing as you exhale and release, what else are you releasing as the trees drop their leaves in this autumn season, this time of change, transition, and compost? What are you releasing as a being on this planet? So, again, with each inhale, welcoming the air, noticing what else it is that you are welcoming in. And with each exhale, releasing an audible sigh, noticing what else it is that you are also releasing. And gently opening your eyes and welcoming yourself back to the screen with us.
Yeah. I love that so much. It's such a beautiful, simple, I don't want to say quick, but handy exercise, especially as we ask ourselves, how can we let go and move into a new season? Can we chat a little bit more about the five elements and how we see them in our lives and maybe how we can work with them as we continue on with this idea of self care during Self Care Month? You mentioned the element of metal, but let's start with earth. Tell us about
Yeah.
the element of earth in both yoga and Chinese medicine, how they intersect, and how we might see this element come alive in our life. This beautiful picture of you, by the way. Where was this?
Thank
Yeah.
you. This
Yeah.
is in Southern California, outside of the LA region, heading towards the desert between LA and Riverside County, on the way to a hot spring, actually. So, earth element in Chinese medicine is the mother. Well, with Chinese medicine and yoga, Ayurvedic traditions, earth is the mother. The season relating to earth element in Chinese medicine is that of midsummer. Emotion is si, which translates as contemplation or sympathy, or how we care for ourselves and care for each other, everyone around us. And this brings into question, how are we nourishing ourselves and those around us? What kind of foods are we taking into our bodies? What kind of foods really nourish us? From a yogic asana perspective, we can consider grounding practices, moving with the legs, moving, uh, lying down poses, being close to the earth and connecting with the earth.
Those of you who are watching at home here on Esalen Live, we'd love to know how you are nourishing yourselves these days. Give us some ideas and share them with the other participants in this streaming show today. The element of earth, how are we nourishing ourselves? And of course, if you have any questions, float those into the chat. If this is helping you in any way, shape, or form, please send Jiling some emojis of hearts or smiley faces or thumbs up, anything that helps reflect how this might be assisting you today. The element of water, Jiling. Where is this? You have some beautiful pictures, by the way. Where's this?
So this is in the Sierra Nevada, heading towards between the John Muir Wilderness, heading deeper into the wilderness, going out for a multi-day backpacking adventure. This was back when I still had that's a really heavy pack right there.
It is a heavy
So
pack.
with
It's bigger than you are.
Uh, almost, yeah. So, with the water element, Chinese medicine tradition, we welcome the season of winter, hibernation, rest. And in yogic traditions, considering how do we move into the flow, so vinyasa type movements to connect with the flowing energy of water. And within both Chinese medicine and yogic traditions, considering this question of rest, small ways of resting. How do we rest in between big movements within our daily lives, and larger moments of rest, such as now as we went into the autumn season and we enter a time of more contemplation and quietude. The activity of summer and spring, the green seasons, start to wind down to a close. So some other yogic practices might include yin yoga or supine lying down poses, practices to nourish rest before going to sleep.
I love that so much. It's something I think we all need a bunch of right now. Sherry Johnson, I think, is answering our question about nurturing, and she says homemade soup, naps, and nature. So she's really right in line with the intersection of yoga and Chinese medicine that you've been talking about. Thank you so much, Sherry. And then Stephen, I think, is weighing in here as well. He says, I enjoy spending time in nature, enjoying awesome beauty all around. I think that is just one of the top things of Earth Element, right? Is just to be in nature. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, all of the elements interweave us deeply with nature all around us. From small moments such as just being here right now, the elements all around and within us, as well as larger, incredible moments when we're walking in some pristine wilderness.
And then this is you hugging a tree, and the element of fire is what we're talking about right now. How do we think about this bringing fire to life in our lives in a positive way?
Yes. So, fire, Chinese medicine, we welcome the heat of summer and the hottest part of the day and the energy of love. Meridians associated with fire in Chinese medicine are the heart and the small intestine. How do we connect with ourselves? How do we connect with our community around us? How do we connect with nature, ourselves, our communities, and our worlds through the element of fire? Yoga's answer for that, yoga asana at least, is through more core type movements, more cardio type movements. So moving a little bit faster, bringing the heat of movement into our daily lives and
Mm.
practices.
Let me ask you, as it intersects with Chinese medicine here, fire is often used in this treatment of cupping that you demonstrate right here. Would love to know if you at home have experienced cupping as Jiling describes, perhaps how fire works with the cupping treatment. Can you explain, Jiling?
Yeah, so fire, like here in the picture, it shows I put fire into the cup, and by keeping the fire inside of the cup, it draws the oxygen out of the cup. Then I quickly place the cup onto various parts of the body, and there's various ways of working with cupping: flash cupping, gliding cup, stationary cup, and that helps to draw blood and circulation to areas on the body to move the chi or the energy of the body, and it feels really good.
If you've experienced this at home, you may also just let us know how your experience was with cupping or any type of Chinese medicine that involved fire like this. Of course, don't try this at home, but the type of fire that Jiling's talking about integrating in our practices, heating, asana, and so forth and so on. Let's move on to wood here as an element in Chinese medicine. And how does this intersect with yoga and our lives?
Wood element in Chinese medicine welcomes the energies of spring. So if you close your eyes and imagine what spring feels like and what spring looks like, with the leaves opening up on the trees and flowers bursting forth after the leaves come out, all this growth, birth, and potential. The emotion in Chinese medicine associated with the wood element is that of anger. There's all this innate inner potential and energy moving through, and we need to 疏肝, or allow the liver, which is associated with wood, to flow freely. So how do we cultivate this movement within our lives and bodies to allow the chi or the energy to move freely within ourselves? So wondering for you within your daily life, what is your relationship with movement or exercise like? What kinds of movements or exercises feel good for you and nourish you? So, in asana or yoga movement practices, we might consider patting. So, you can pat down along the sides or backs of your legs, which is addressing the meridian lines of wood with the liver and gallbladder channel. Twisting, allowing for free flow of chi or energy, and balances, which are challenging and allow us to find that stillness within the movement as we establish free flowing energy.
Yeah, if this is helpful to you, send Jillian a little love. I'm learning so much from you as we're back full circle talking about metal. Tell us where this is. Love this picture of you again, and how metal can be present in our lives through Chinese medicine and yoga.
This picture is on Yanzui Shan in northern Taiwan, where my family is from. Really epic, pristine moment. And I chose this image because metal element aligns us with our divinity, with whatever it is that connects you with your higher purpose. Why are we here? Who am I? Where do I come from? These huge, really sacred questions that allow us to find purpose and belonging within the short span of our human lives, but so precious. Metal element in Chinese medicine relates to autumn, this time of letting go, as I spoke of before, and also of grief, the emotion of grief. I love autumn as well, Sherry. This emotion of grief, we are letting things go. We are letting the leaves of our lives fall away. We are letting the precious ones that we love. Perhaps we're not letting them, but we need to let them. go. When it's time, we need to let go. So within this grief, there is an element of great praise as well. And with considering this autumnal feelings of letting go and grief and praise, I like to bring in creativity and reflection. How do we nourish creativity and reflection within our daily moment to moment lives, as well as within the longer rituals of seasons changing, months, years, the entire span of our life? How do we bring that in? From a yogic perspective, this might include pranayama or breath practices, like the simple one that we practiced earlier, mantra or reciting prayers or chants, and meditation. And on a physical level, opening up the chest, expanding this lung region. The chest cavity can be very helpful in opening up and releasing.
Hmm. I'm going to ask you a question in terms of chanting. I'm a I'm a proponent of chanting, but some are hesitant to vocalize. What is the importance of vocalizing when you're talking about the metal element, autumn, and your yoga practice? Is that something that's just so helpful that you say, if there's one thing that you can do this fall, it's to vocalize some kind of mantra, maybe even just om or just an ah question. What do you think?
Yeah, in Chinese medicine, the meridians that are associated with the metal element are the lung and the large intestine. So, with the lung element, this relates, of course, to our respiration, but it's also how we are inspired, how we breathe in, what are we taking in. And with large intestine, besides relating to excretion of food and other waste, but it also relates to how do we let go, the ability to retain what is precious and to let go of what we need to release. So with sound, with this release of sound, of inhaling air and exhaling some kind of sound, it allows us to better embody what we need to release, and also embody by envoicing what we are releasing and allowing this to be intentional. We are creating something through our voices and experiencing and expressing it out through our bodies.
Hmm.
So, like Christine, you mentioned something as simple as om, or something as simple as just that inhaling and then exhaling and releasing it with a sigh.
Yeah, that audible sigh is sneakily powerful. There is
Yes.
an element, though, in yoga that we didn't mention as part of the elements in Chinese medicine, which is ether. Can you speak about that a little bit and what the importance of it?
Yeah, so actually, there's two elements that are different between Chinese medicine and yoga. There's ether and air in yoga, and then in Chinese medicine, we've got wood and metal. And that's a whole long conversation about the similarities and differences. So, concentrating on ether or space element in yoga and Ayurveda, ether and space is that which interweaves us all together. So, if you want to experience a little bit of that right now, you can inhale through both your nose and mouth, allowing your gaze to soften and allowing your body to soften, and just sense your deep interconnection with all things. And as you exhale, exhaling out through your nose and your mouth, sensing this deep interconnection once more with all things, allowing the skin of your body to feel porous, and allowing yourself to meld, sensing this moment of melding. So that's the
Mm,
space element, is the mother from yogic tradition, the mother of everybody, and that which interweaves all the spaces in between.
the interconnectedness is so profound right now, as well as we all experience the things that we're experiencing in our world. But if you would like to experience more of Jiling's offerings, she will be working with Paula Wild for Five Elements in Yoga and Chinese Medicine at Esalen, October 4th through 8th. And Jiling, I can't even imagine a better workshop for now. I mean, there's so many things that we could be learning, but I'm so struck by how these two types of modalities, these self care modalities, these practices can intersect in such a profound way. How long have you been doing this and how has it affected your life?
Hmm. I've been, I feel like I've been practicing this my whole life. I grew up in a meditating household and grew up really close to the earth. We went on retreats every weekend at our meditation center, which is off in the desert. So I feel like this has been an integral part of my life and practice. And how it's impacted me over time is I feel like just such a deep connection with the world and with the earth. I'm I besides teaching yoga and teaching Chinese medicine, I also teach interplay, which is an active creative way to unlock the wisdom of the body and bringing together Chinese medicine, five elements, and yoga traditions, interweaving that with these creative practices for myself is a really playful, enjoyable, deeply nourishing, and connected way to be in the world. And for those who I get to serve and walk with, either in the role of teacher or practitioner of Chinese medicine, it is a really profound, accessible, and I feel and hope enjoyable way to presence ourselves in our worlds and in our bodies.
Yeah, so well said. The workshop again with Jiling Lin and Paula Wild, Five Elements in Yoga and Chinese Medicine, October 4th through 8th. You can check out our website, esalen.org/visit/workshops. It'll be right there. I'll also post the link on the Facebook Live in the feed right after this. Jiling, it's been such a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Breathe. Stay connected, practice, take care of yourselves.